Right, here we go. Right, here I go, starting again. Hello and welcome to the POW Business Panel. And POW, in case you don't already know, stands for Pearls of Wisdom. This is all part of the fantastic project of phenomenal women that have come on board for International Women's Day. So throughout March and throughout the rest of this year, you will see lots of messages, lots of live events, lots of interviews talking to strong, inspirational, empowered women to share their story that will help you learn how we choose to challenge and feed back to International Women's Day. So if you hear anything from the podcast, from any of these live events, and it resonates with you and you think it will resonate with someone else in your family or friends, please share with everyone that you feel will benefit from this, because it doesn't matter where you are in your career. We all have those pearls of wisdom and golden nuggets that we can share. Now, today, each and every wonderful lady that is part of this panel will be sharing the inspiration that brought them to set up their business. So you can see our thought processes, how we actually approach our business and what goes from that. And we are aiming to start and stick to as close to 4 minutes, each and every one of us, as we can. So without further ado, I'm going to start with the 4 minutes for myself and introduce us. Okay? So, hello, my name's Pearl Cox, if you don't already know. I'm a digital communications consultant, a business and spiritual coach, a podcast host, a mentor and trainer. So I cover a wealth and depth and breadth of so many different things. My business is Pearl Cox International Limited, and you'll see from the women that I actually bring into this group, I truly am international. I'm bringing people in from my network on a global basis from all around the world. Pearls of Wisdom is the brand name that I use that fits into Pearl Cox International. And with that whole idea, Pearls of Wisdom, simply started as a play on words, using my name and how I can share. And I'm very lucky that with a name like mine, it's already an established slogan, as it were, Pearls of Wisdom. So you will see here, we've got the Pearls of Wisdom International Women's Day podcast interviews. And that's the group that all the women gyrate to that are going to be part of this project. I have the Pearls of Wisdom retreats that run every 6 months, where you have the chance to come in, share your brand. We work on business, we work on spirituality, and we work on well-being, and we go out on a global basis. So you will be seeing messages coming out about that in the near future, because our next retreat will be run 1st and 2nd of May, and we have some fantastic platinum sponsors, many of which you will see within this group, that will actually share that message and help each and every one of us. We have the Pearls of Wisdom podcast and the Pearls of Wisdom coaching. You see a theme here. Then I do, like I said, the POW panel interviews, which is what we are doing here. And no matter where we are, I will share my pearls of wisdom with you and anyone else that wants to learn. Also from that, I've learned you can repurpose information. Yes, I do a VIP elite coaching session that will be 3 days, fully immersive, working with me. But if you find that your time and your budget doesn't fit to that, I can repurpose that information and I can run it as a 12-month program. That I offer coaching, I offer training, and everything in between. And like I said, I mentioned mentoring. If there's someone here listening that would like me to mentor them, please contact me. I mentor from teenagers right the way through your career, so I am happy to work with you. My ideal clients are director level women looking to leave the grind of corporate and actually set up on their own, and I can help you, I can handhold, and I can also help you monetize any one of those ideas. So that's me, Pearl Cox International Limited, and my brand name is Pearls of Wisdom. And how did I do? Yes, I'm in 4 minutes. I'm now going to move across And I'm going to introduce you to the wonderful Sarah Ibrahim. Sarah Ibrahim is a wonderful inspirational coach, and if you don't already know, she's also my executive assistant. So if you are reaching out for time in my diary, it's probably going to be Sarah that you speak to before you get to speak to me. She is fantastic, very approachable and very professional, and I just have to say a massive thank you. We've been working together just a short time, and she has already helped me get in front of as many people as possible. So without further ado, I give you Sarah Ibrahim.
Evening, one and all. Hello. What a joy to be here with you guys again under the POW International umbrella. What a privilege to be with all you gorgeous ladies and to be in this, like, in front of this audience. So hello, and I hope everyone's had a good day. I'm Sarah, as Pearl has just alluded to, and I am an inspiration coach. I'm also a virtual assistant, and so I support the Pearl Cox International brand as much as I can. Oh, it is my joy to do so, let me tell you, because I love Pearl, and if you're thinking about working with her, I can tell you right now, it's well worth it. Get involved. And so we are here bringing this event to you, which she's pulled together out of thin air, which, you know, I just think people like this inspire me, and this has been part of my journey to look to people like Pearl, like others that are on this panel, to see, you know, what it is that they're doing, what can I emulate in my own life in order to expand myself and have the journey that I want to. So what happened for me was that I had a baby, right? Quite unexpectedly. I mean, I had 9 months warning, but, you know, this wasn't part of my plan, right? And so I was like, oh, holy cow, what am I going to do now? So I'd worked previously in corporate for 20 years as a PA, and someone said to me, why don't you be a virtual assistant? And I thought, what in God's green earth is one of them? And funny enough, I had that very same conversation with a lady who is now my client, who is also here on this call, the lovely Amanda Harrison. She's like, what's a virtual assistant? I was like, very good question. So a virtual assistant is the person that will support your business so that you can go and do the things that you are good at, right? So in Pearl's case, it's so that she can coach, so that she can mentor, so that she can be seen and calling clients. So I take care of her scheduling, you know, of making sure that she's got time for herself, tackling emails, that sort of stuff. And this is the role of a virtual assistant, basically. We take care of your business, or you do the things that you are good at and the things that you love, right? So that's one of my businesses. I'm a virtual assistant. My business is called Virtually Acquired. I support coaches, essentially. My other business, my love, my baby, is called Inspire and Coach. Okay, so I am an inspiration coach, as you just gathered, because my whole life, people have told me that I've inspired them to do something, be something, say something, change something, whatever. Right. And it's a natural gift that actually I didn't even know was a gift until just recently, really. And I uncovered a natural gift for coaching through my network marketing business, which I set up at the same time as my VA business. I fell out of love with network marketing. That's a whole other story for another day. I fell out of love with it. But during this time, I uncovered a natural gift for empowering and helping others to rise. And I realised, oh my God, this sets my soul on fire. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here to do. Let's do this thing. And ever since I started putting my energy behind it, I've grown a Facebook group of over 400 magical women. I've got my signature coaching program, which is called, what is it called? Route to Success. Oh my God, I do know what I'm doing, honest. Right? It's called Route to Success. And I've just got a program starting next week, which is called Tranquility. It's 21 days where I'm teaching you 21 different tools that have given me my sense of inner peace. If you want to join me, just drop me a message. I'd love to have you on it. We're starting next week. I've got 24 seconds left. She's on time. Okay, thank you so much. Lovely to chat to you all.
Thank you, Sarah. And look at us all sticking to time. The next lady I'm going to introduce is someone I've actually met through starting this International Women's Day project. But it's a very special lady that I feel that we've known each other for years. We probably have. We've probably had quite a few lifetimes together in previous lives. Now, today, I'd like to introduce you to the lovely Francesca Cassini.
Thank you so much, Pearl. It's just brilliant to be here and really thinking all today about what got me to the point where I launched the Silver Tent. And it really was an epiphany at the age of 59 as I was flying over the Andes on a 5-week bucket list tour that had been gifted to me. And all of a sudden, I just had this sense out of seemingly nowhere that we women over 50, over 60 and beyond are not past our sell-by date, but that we are valid and valuable with wisdom worth sharing in our world today. But it took another 18 months before the Silver Tent was actually born. I spent 4 months in an off-grid yurt on my own through the wildest, wettest winter on record in Wales. I spent a few months in a couple of tiny little caravans. And then I went on an extraordinary shamanic retreat run by Ellen Tompkins, who wrote a book called The Lost Silver Wheel, The Lost Teachings of the Deerskin Book. And she told us that we were there basically to reconnect with our legacy from our Lemurian lifetime, which didn't mean much to me at the time. But a few days after that, all of a sudden, this whole concept of the Silver Tent just dropped into my consciousness like the most extraordinarily beautiful crystal. This idea of creating a community for women over 50 and beyond, from different cultures, different backgrounds, different parts of the globe, and to serve those women who had lost their way, lost their sense of purpose, lost their sense of direction and identity, and maybe who'd gone into thinking that it's all downhill right from then, and putting them together with those women who weren't feeling like that, who were feeling empowered and strong and really accessing their wise elderhood. And so over the last 4.5 years, I've been nurturing and nourishing this community, the Silver Tent, on Facebook. We now have over 7,000 members from all across the globe. And according to Facebook statistics, over 5,000 of those are regularly active and engaging, which is amazing. And our group of women who are facilitators and mentors and retreat leaders and workshop leaders, that's all really growing, and it's beginning to buzz more and more, helping everybody step up into their wise elderhood. The idea being that not only do we recognize it within ourselves, that we start to ripple that out into the world. I think that we're a vastly untapped resource, and we are absolutely essential in our world today. The next thing that's going to happen is we're creating our own community on our own website. And as we start to become a really thriving community with real revenue coming in, we're going to start Silver Philanthropy, our charitable arm, which will aim to fund those women with really amazing life-affirming projects, and not just offer them funding, but also offer them expertise as well. So it's a fabulous community of women that's growing. We're really challenging convention. We're rewriting the myth of the older woman. And if you want to participate in that, if you have wisdom that you want to bring, or you have wisdom that you feel that you can learn, then come along, join us in the Silver Tent, sign up in Silver Synergy, and we will give you an incredibly warm welcome. Thank you.
Brilliant. And that is completely spot on. Well done, that lady. Right, now the next wonderful, phenomenal lady I'd like to introduce you to. It's a lady that you will find on the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. There are quite a few different interviews that we have done. This lady is very, very special, and I'm going to do a shout out now, so watch this space. You will see a joint workshop between Pearls of Wisdom and Julia Narpor coming in the future. We haven't finalised everything yet, but there will be a workshop. So without further ado, the lady I'm going to introduce you to is the phenomenal Julia Narpor. Julia, welcome.
Thank you, Pearl, and it's lovely to be here with everybody this evening. My name's Julian Arpour, and I wear two hats. On the one hat, I'm a business coach. I work with women in predominantly small businesses and give them the practical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual tools that they need to clear blockages, to believe in themselves and to succeed, whatever success means to them. I combine almost 30 years of corporate experience with the other side of my personality, which is training in Reiki and Seiken. And that allows me to have a 360-degree view of women, their businesses, and to, as I say, help them. The other hat I wear is a social media manager and social media trainer, and I work with, again, predominantly, not exclusively, but predominantly women in business, helping them to get seen in the very noisy, very crowded digital marketplace, either through managing their social media, if, like a lot of people, social media is the last thing that on their to-do list, or giving them the tools so that they can do it themselves and do it effectively. What inspired me really to start my business was it's difficult to pinpoint one distinct thing, because I started my self-employed journey when I was 23, and at that age I wasn't playing all the roles that we as women are expected very often to play. So I was married, but I wasn't a parent at that stage, and I was still at the age where, having had, I guess, quite a sheltered upbringing, where I was naive and thought that life was going to be, like that. And of course, we all know that it isn't. It's like that. But what pushed me to start my business then was necessity. Quite frankly, I was at a crossroads in my life, and I faced a number of those, and I didn't quite know which way I was going to go. So for me, it seemed to just make sense to start a business. My parents had been self-employed, so it wasn't quite the leap of faith that it is for some people. It was sort of, to me, it was sort of par for the course. Other than that, my inspiration has always been my mum, because she was a successful woman, but at a time, and this is only the 80s, mind you, that you weren't really successful in your own right. You were the wife of a successful man. And that was something that I saw her deal with on a day-to-day basis, and I was determined to make a change and not be considered only a secretary or whatever at that stage. So that's me. I have a 6-week course which is called Catalyst for Change, which is on the business coaching side, and that helps you to deal with the blocks that you're facing: self-worth, imposter syndrome, self-care, everything that provides the foundation to a solid business. So that's me, Julian Arpour, business coach and social media manager.
Absolutely brilliant. And yes, we're sticking within our time. I like this. Thank you, Julia. The next wonderful lady I'm going to introduce, literally, like Francesca, we've connected through this project. But this very special lady has gone over and above to introduce others into this group. She's really embodied everything that the project stands for, and has reached out and has connected as many of her people in her network that she feels can benefit and can help from that. So without further ado, I am going to introduce you to this very, very special lady, Deborah, Sofia, Magdalene. Welcome, and please share your story with us.
Oh, thank you for that lovely introduction, Pearl. Yeah, I'm a natural connector. On the Wealth Dynamics profile, I'm a deal maker, so I've got a huge network, and I just love to help and connect people for the benefit of all. Win, 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 win. It's always got to be win, win, win. And I'm the frequency alchemist. I recently branded myself as the frequency alchemist because I realised that all my work is around helping people to raise the vibration, helping them to be happier, to be healthier, to be wealthier, and everything I do is in alignment with that. Now, in 2017, my life circumstances changed and I set up a house and pet sitting business as a means to an end because I didn't have anywhere to live, I didn't have an income, and it was like, okay, what will be a creative solution to this? And I thought, house and pet sitting, that means I can live in other people's houses and not have any bills to pay. And it led into a really successful business. And, I was so successful that I then took on other pet sitters and I set up a little agency. So it's amazing sort of when you have to do something out of necessity, what you can actually make out of it. Now, whilst I was doing that, I was also teaching people about essential oils, running classes online, building an essential oil business. And I just fell in love with essential oils, and those are still a big part of my life. But then in last year, COVID came along. All my pet sitting work just cancelled overnight because people were unable to travel. And then my ex-husband died. It'll be actually a year on Monday, on this coming Monday, that he passed away. And I just had 2 months out being really still and quiet. And I wanted a period of time to just reflect on what I wanted to do going forward. And then a friend of mine, dear Ellen, who I met through Francesca's Silver Tent community when I was actually running a retreat for the Silver Sisters down in Glastonbury, sent me a video. And the video was about this frequency technology, and I'm sort of running a frequency program at the moment. And I watched this video and I got tingles all over, and my intuition was screaming at me to take notice of this. And I always follow my intuition. And after researching extensively for 48 hours, got very, very excited and went, how do I buy one of these things? So I ended up buying a device, and this has led to a new business for me. I was in profit within my first 30 days. I've now got a team which is in many different countries globally. This is just since last May. I've got more money in the bank now than I've had for a long, long time. And I'm working with the most amazing, conscious women, coaches, therapists, practitioners, you name it, we have in our team. And it's a fantastic, fantastic way of us all working together to help each other. And what I love about it is there's many different ways that we can niche in different areas. So, for example, we've got frequencies for pets. And so we've got people who are animal communicators and things like that that are in. And so that's what I do. My Facebook page is The Frequency Alchemist, and you'll also find me on Facebook as Magdalene Wellness.
Thank you, Deborah. Wonderful. And I know that I was talking to you about the frequency thing because when you've shared it on the interview, and it is going to blow your mind. So if you haven't already heard Deborah's interview on the podcast, go ahead and listen because it's phenomenal. It really, really is. I'm going to move along to this next wonderful lady, and she's one of these ladies that's on speed dial on my phone. If we don't get to catch up every day, we'll be talking for 2 or 3 hours at a time because we have to catch up with what we've been doing. Now, this lady thinks like me. When you look at someone that wants to actually start and be dynamic and move their business on, this lady is absolutely phenomenal. I could list all the things that she does, but I'm not going to because that's for the lovely Amanda Joy Harrison to share. Amanda, will you please share your story?
Oh, thank you so much for that lovely introduction. And we haven't had a good catch up for a few days, so I'm feeling at least a 2-hour call coming on. So I've been teaching today. So if I'm a bit croaky, and I've kind of flown home from teaching, so I'm also going to duck out as soon as I've done a quick hello. But I just want to go, hi, everybody, because there's some gorgeous people in this room that I know. You're all amazing. But I'm also really hungry and I can smell my Indian food in the background. and it's probably getting cold. So I'm going to go have Indian food and just duck out in a minute and go, hi, goodbye. But anyway, I am Amanda Joy, and I am the director of the Northern College of Clinical Hypnotherapy. I'm the director of studies. So that means I look after what we are teaching, what we are providing our students. And I also support graduates as well who are going to be qualified in clinical hypnotherapy. I'm also the host for my fun, for my creative fun. I'm also the host of the Wednesday Wellbeing Show, which is on NTR Sounds, Awaken Podcast, Amanda Joy's podcast. And that is all about bringing messages of well-being to the world, because people are looking for alternative, more beautiful ways of living. And I didn't press go on my timer. Oh, I probably ran over already. People are looking for better, happier, healthier ways to live, and there are so many amazing people. So I help people get their message out there. But in my kind of own journey, I really struggled at school. I got really badly bullied in school, and I had very, very low self-esteem, very, very low self-worth, and very low confidence. And my very first experience of clinical hypnotherapy was with a gentleman called Dave Goodfellow. Very sadly, Dave has died. He passed on. He had cancer. But I very much feel that the work that he did with me and the friendship that we had just inspired me to want to become a clinical hypnotherapist. I worked alongside Dave when I was nursing, when I was working with in the NHS. Dave came in as an expert to advise us on how to support my patients with pain management. And I was blown away at the power of clinical hypnotherapy and how amazing it was and how well it worked. And it just got me really interested in kind of mind-body connections. I went on, and I could talk all night about my huge long journey, but I went on and eventually became a qualified clinical hypnotherapist. But one of the things that I felt was sort of really lacking was when I graduated, I didn't really know my own value. I didn't really know, obviously I'd benefited from clinical hypnotherapy, but I didn't know my own value as a therapist, didn't really have a lot of confidence. And when it came to kind of asking people for money for my services, it freaked me out. I felt really scared about it. And, just doing some research, I looked on LinkedIn, and there are a lot of people who are amazing clinical hypnotherapists out there, but they just don't have confidence to deliver what they're very good at doing. And they've perhaps not had a lot of practical, immersive experience, not just working with friends and family, but working with clients. So I thought, instead of whinging about people graduating and not really knowing what they're doing, I need to get involved with the teaching and the training. So Pearl's flashing her phone at me, so I'll take that as a hint. So I set up the Northern College of Clinical Hypnotherapy, where my aim is to bring confident therapists into our industry, into the community, to support people's mental health and well-being, and to bring them into the world as confident, practical, they're able to carry out. I know, I'm stopping. It's lovely to see you all. Thank you for having me. If you're interested in training in clinical hypnotherapy, do get in touch. I'm off to have curry. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Amanda, and enjoy your curry. I think it's made us all feel really hungry now. So thank you for that. The next wonderful lady I'm going to introduce you to is another special soul that has joined the International Women's Day podcast interviews project. But again, it's someone that has resonated with everyone within the group, is connecting, and has such a fantastic story to tell. So the next lady I'd like to introduce you to is Clara Goldie. Clara, would you like to share your message, please?
Oh, thank you, Pearl. I really appreciate being here with all you wonderful ladies. Okay, so my journey started at a very young age. I recognized that I wanted to make a difference to people's lives very early on. And I was challenging, even back at school in those days, I'm 56 now, the narrative for women, and it felt like a very narrow tramline. I actually now own my own internationally recognized interior design business. It's gone through about 4 incarnations in my lifetime already, and that's part of my own personal journey. And I'm sure all you ladies listening out there will recognize that, and we've certainly heard of that today. So what really got me going was that I became very aware from a young age how people's environments impacted on their well-being, on their mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health. And so that was my mission to start at a very young age. It took me a few goes to get where I am today. And along the path of running my own interior design business, I broke down a lot of myths for women in the industry. I work with a lot of men who highly respect what I do. I work with CEOs and execs, and we're really excited about where I'm taking the company. So this year, or should I say 2020, was a new incarnation for my business, because I took a sabbatical out after getting a lot of, and a lot of these ladies will recognize, a lot of very strong downloads, my energy work that I had been running quietly in the background, because I didn't feel at the time when I was, leading with this, that people were quite ready for it. So I pushed it to the back burner, and then suddenly a whole experience of things happened where I realized, oh my goodness, I can't not put this out there in the world. The world needs some of this work. We need to challenge the system. We need to challenge the status quo, how we're showing up. We've seen suicide, we've seen mental health problems accelerate. So part of my job now as an interior designer is I work with healing in the home. And a little bit like Deborah's story, I work with energy and frequency. I work to raise the resonance of my clients' lives, whether they know they're getting that or not. They get that automatically with me. As a result of my own journey, which has not always been easy, I had to start in my 3rd incarnation of my interior design business as we have it now. I started as a single mom in very difficult circumstances from the kitchen table, and built up a 6-figure business quite rapidly and through extreme hard work. So I now work with small groups of ladies in my coaching practice, aside from my main business, to actually show them that they are hugely possible. So if they're a struggling mother, or they're having difficulty, I help coach them recognize their creative, spiritual talents, and help them value that and package that so they can live a better life, follow their dreams. So thank you everybody for listening. I really appreciate being part of this group.
Thank you, Clara. And we're literally within 10 seconds. I love this.
Yes, if you want to find me, I've got 10 seconds left. Clara Goldie, Klara Goldie, GOLDY.com. And if you want to find out about my energy work, you'll get the thread in that website, and you can join our email list, and we share all that work. And we're launching in June a special group for women, Feminine Mastery Path. So check it out.
Thank you so much, Clara. The next lady I'm going to introduce you to, I urge each and every one of you to listen to the podcast interview we have already done. I needed a raft of tissues. It's the first interview I've ever done where I have cried openly on my interview. This lady is inspirational, empowering, and she's phenomenal in so many ways. If you follow her, you will see that her recent story has been picked up by a lot of mainstream newspapers, and you'll see why I cried. This lady is so very, very special. I'd like to introduce you to Josephine Sandra Calaguera. Welcome, Josephine.
Thank you, Pal, for having me here. And you wonderful ladies, it's an absolute honor to be here today. And to stand on this virtual stage is usually difficult for me, but I'm getting there. My name is Josephine Sandra Calaguera. I call myself a setback to comeback queen. I'm a speaker and a best-selling author as well. And recently, just today, I got letters from House of Commons regarding so it was from their setback that I have been to the comeback that we now, myself and son, because I drag him along because he started to be a young carer from the age of 5. And only recently, at the beginning of the lockdown, when I started making changes in my life, we had to seek a lot of support. We had to go through so much as a young child who I feel guilty that I took his childhood away for selfishly reasons of not wanting to get help, wanting to feel better, feeling that there was no one to help me, to support me. I felt like I wasn't heard, I wasn't supported in any kind of form. So I was able to come back up stronger than ever before. This is why I now help families, especially moms who have physical or emotional challenges, to feel heard, accepted, and supported. So they have that renewed sense of hope to come back stronger than ever before and feel highly blessed and favored to not allow the difficult times to define them, their destiny or capability, because I am that person. So what I do with the ladies that I support is I take them on the journey, which is I've got 2 offers at the moment. The Sunshine Hour, which is like basically some people just feel like they want to take some things off their chest. They just want to know, I've had this letter, I'm going through this, the GP said this, things going on in their lives, and they just want to know where to turn to for help, how to move on from that stage, and they just need that hour right there. And I call it the Sunshine Hour. By the time they finish working with me, they're like, Josephine. So it feels like so amazing. And the second one is the Breakthrough Series 6 sessions, whereby they come, I go through them on this journey to support them to feel like this is where they need to do, this is how they need to approach a certain situation. And by the end of the 6 weeks, they now feel stronger, they feel happier, they're empowered, and they've got the resilience from taking themselves from the dark thoughts, things that have not gone right, feeling like they've been bad parents or done anything good, and stop feeling guilty. And that's what I help them with. And next month, I'm opening my membership, the Setback to Comeback Lounge, to help people who are in the situation that they need to be supported, but they cannot afford the higher prices. That is what I do. I hope I've done. Yeah, that's who I am. And I've got a free Facebook community called Shine Through Your Setbacks, where I inspire you and empower you on a daily basis to feel that you are not alone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Josephine. Like I said, please do listen to the interview that Josephine and I have done, and it goes into so much depth of Josephine's story and what has got her to the phenomenal lady that she is now. So please, be lovely for you to listen to that, and we'd love to have feedback. The next very special lady I'm going to introduce you to is someone else that once again has come through this project, the International Women's Day project, with someone that has jumped on board and said, yes, I want to be part of this, and has helped to really build the group from there. So I'd now like to introduce you to the wonderful D21. Dee, would you like to share your story, please?
Hello, Pearl. Hello, everybody. It's lovely to be here. Okay. I've been thinking about, where do I start with my story? I'm kind of like getting old now, and I can't remember very much about a lot of things that I've done over my life. And so I kind of started my business through my own adversity, really. I didn't do very well at school when I was younger. I failed my 11 plus. I don't know if anybody remembers them. They were ancient times. So I failed the 11 plus. I was, labelled as not good enough for grammar school or whatever. And that filled a passion in my belly to prove everybody wrong. And I went on to just get a job, really. I just got a job when my mum moved up to the northeast, and I quickly fell pregnant with my first child when I was 18, and that held me back a little bit as well. So, and all of the time I was bringing up my children, I was wanting to educate myself and, really push myself to prove people wrong, that I could actually get to university, thank you very much. And it took me quite a long time. And during all that stress and the strain of being a single parent and going out to work and wanting to show my children a good example and all of that, I developed really, really severe migraines, and I had migraines for much of my adult life, and ended up having devastating effect on my working life, because every time I got a migraine, I was out of action for 4 or 5 days. And so I decided that I needed to look for something else, because I'm passionate about natural well-being, passionate about helping myself and moving forward. And I was actually at university at this point taking a psychology degree, and I qualified as a psychotherapist, and then I went in to do hypnotherapy as well. So a little bit like Amanda, I realised that what I wanted to do was help people to heal pain. I wanted to get people out of pain, emotional, psychological and physical pain. And I took the hypnotherapy, and when I was studying that, it was the fact that hypnotherapy was first used as anaesthesia for surgery when there wasn't any anaesthesia back in the 1800s. And that really, really fired me up, because I thought, if it can help somebody get through an operation without pain, then it can help with migraine, it can help with IBS, it can help with all other kinds of chronic pain. So that is how I opened my business and decided to be a hypnopsychotherapist, helping people with chronic pain and to challenge their beliefs and to dive deep into the inner resources, because there isn't just allopathic medicine, there isn't just a pill for everything. We de-skill ourselves when we actually rely on other things, but we're not actually tapping into our resonance with our frequencies, because I'm working with that as well. So for me, it's the inspiration that we are magical creative beings, and I want people to tap into that, and I challenge their perceptions, I transform their lives, and that's who I am, really. So people can find me at Resonance Holistics Limited, and I'd love to work with other people who want to they're ready to challenge themselves and their beliefs. So that's me. Thank you very much.
Isn't that wonderful? It's so many synchronicities. Look, I almost got through the whole thing without talking about the S word that I love, synchronicities. It's so lovely to hear. This is why all these wonderful ladies have come together. That vibration has brought us in, and it all works and fits together. Now,
Pearl, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to go because my mum needs me.
Okay.
And I just want to say thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, Francesca. Thank you. Right then, I'm now going to go to another lovely lady that I've only met through the International Women's Day project. Someone else that's all fired up, is connecting with everyone, and has a fantastic story to tell. I'd now like to introduce you to the wonderful Heather Booker. Heather, would you share your message with everyone, please?
Thank you. Thanks, Pearl. And thank you so much for including me in all this. And you've got such an awesome, amazing group of women together, not just tonight, but having been in the group and seen who you've got in there, you've just got such fantastic, amazing, inspirational women together. So, so I'm Heather, and I've been a complementary therapist for well over 20 years now. I decided to retrain as a complementary therapist back in the 1990s. Yeah, I am that old. And I did so because I went through a really, really bad period of clinical depression, to the point that I literally looked at a razor blade one night and decided, do I, don't I? So at that point, my life basically changed, and my life is like a couple of you have said. I go through major transitions and I make major shifts, and because of that, it made really good sense to use that to work with other people doing the same. So I'm a complementary therapist. I've been a clinic owner, and I'm also a copywriter and a content creator for health and wellbeing businesses. But most of all, I'm a soul coach. And my real passion is seeing people step into who they are, seeing people be themselves without judgment, and living a life that is a life of purpose, is a life that fires them up, is a life that lights them up, and doing that in a way that works for them. So not what society says or not what books say you have to be. I'm a hugely spiritual person, but I'm not a hugely woo-woo person. So I'm very grounded. I look at astrology, I look at numerology, I see and have seen angels since I was a child. I communicate with angels. I look at numbers, I look at signs from the universe. So I'm a very deeply spiritual person, but I'm a very grounded, practical person. I'm a Virgo. I'm always going to be grounded and practical. So I love seeing people use all the tools that we have, all those amazing spiritual tools, but use them in a way that doesn't have to be something that they're not comfortable with. So if you want to use your spirituality in a way where, I don't know, you wear tie-dye, have khaki, I don't know, that's just or if you want to do it the way I do it, with a pair of walking boots and looking at the signs the universe sends you when you're out on a walk, I genuinely think every single way is important. I genuinely feel as long as it fits with your soul, as long as it resonates with yourself, and you connect with your soul, and you connect with your higher self, and you connect with everything around you that is here to support you on your journey. Everything around us is there for us. Nature is amazing, but you can get so many symbols and signs from nature. So that's me. I'm grounded spirituality, and I'm basically just here to help you live the best life you possibly can.
Oh, wonderful, Heather, wonderful. And yet again, I'm going to say the S word. Now I've started, I'm not going to stop. Synchronicities abound throughout this group. And this is why we've come together, because we all understand the universe, that vibration has brought each and every one of us together so we can share our voice and we can rise up as loud and as strong as we possibly can. So for that, I really thank you, Heather. And I can't wait until we're doing our interview, because there'll be loads and loads of the S word throughout there. So thank you. Thank you. Now on to a very, very special lady, someone out of everyone that is a member of this project. I have known this lady longer than anyone else. In our corporate lives, we work together for massive companies, and anyone that looks either of us up on LinkedIn, just look at our profile and see the companies and what we've done and who we've worked with. This lady is off the charts. I'm just so glad that we connected. We go years without speaking to each other, and then when we come together, it's like we've never said goodbye. And we we complement each other with the work we do. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Vanessa Frater-Robertson. Vanessa, would you like to share your message, please?
Oh, Pearl, thank you so much for inviting me. It's so lovely talking to you, and I'm so privileged and feel so proud to be in this group of inspiring ladies. So thank you so much. I'm Vanessa Frater-Robertson, and I'm a communication consultant, storyteller, and mindset confidence coach. I'm going to take you on a very short journey, take you back to 2004, when I was a new wife and a new mom, and I was on the corporate job trajectory. Everything was going really well. I thought, yeah, I'm making it, I'm doing it. And then I was made redundant. And because I sort of like wrapped up my self-esteem in what I did as opposed to what was inside me at the time, I thought, oh, my life's over. I'm such a loser. I'm this. I lost all my confidence. My self-esteem was on the ground, and I felt awful. So I had a few sort of like months of feeling sorry for myself and feeling very depressed. And that was okay. You can feel your feelings. But then I decided, oh, enough's enough. I need to do something about this. So I started talking to people and friends about what sorts of things I could do, and talking to recruitment consultants. And I decided to do interim consulting. And at the time I said, oh, this is a stopgap. That's okay until I'm waiting for the perfect permanent job. And fast forward sort of like 10 years after that, I was still doing it. And then my contractor buddies were saying, why don't you set up your own business? It makes more sense. But at that time, it served me to work the way I was working because of my family commitments and everything. So I don't regret the way I did that. That was absolutely fine. But then a few years later, about 3 years later, I looked at the situation again. I thought, this seems to be the right time to set up my limited company. So I specialize in internal communication and working with employees and telling the story that the company needs to tell them to get them on board to adopt a project, or, you know, accept some terms and conditions, or accept, you know, moving to a new state in the company. And I love internal communications because I can work with people, do feedback sessions, understand what resonates with them. I can also, like the feedback, help to input that into the new projects and improve it. So I love doing what I do. The other side of my business is coaching. And this came out of a conversation that I had with a friend about a year and a half ago. She is a mental health nurse working for the NHS. And she was trying to work out, she had 2 job offers, and she was trying to work out which one to go for. And she was asking us in the group, what should we do? And I said, well, use visualization. Think about your day working for this job. You wake up in the morning, you go into the job, you're driving, you're thinking about who you're working with. How are you feeling? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling, anxious? Are you looking forward to working with the people? Now do that with the other job and do exactly the same thing. So she went away, thought about it overnight, came back and said, you know what? I thought I was going to go for the other job, but I actually went for the other one after doing what you said. Have you thought of being a coach? And then I thought, oh, actually, maybe I should think about it. And I started to look at things I could do and further study. And that's what I've decided to do. That's now the second part of my business, is coaching, confidence coaching. So that is what I do. You can find me at Transform Your Life Official on my Facebook business page. You can also find me on Transform Your Life on Instagram. And I'm also on LinkedIn as Vanessa Frater-Robertson, so you can find me there as well. So I provide mainly internal communication consulting. I offer one-to-one coaching, and I'm also developing a training course. It's in the beta stage at the moment, but I'm looking at making tweaks to it, and that will soon be offered later down in the year. So watch this space. And my new website is coming soon as well, which will be vanessafraterrobertson.com. And that's what I do. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Vanessa. And I want to do a massive, massive thank you to each and every one of the wonderful, inspiring, empowering and phenomenal women that have taken part in this POW Business Panel. There will be more. And I'd also like to do a massive shout out for a special lady that was due to join us, but she had to pull out due to family commitments. And that's the wonderful Jo Duttfield. The reason I'm also mentioning Jo is if you will put a date in your diary, the 24th of March, 8 p.m. GMT, and both Jo and myself are part of an 8-panel phenomenal speaking event run by Vicky Thomas, and it's Hit Talks Live. So please, if you don't already know Vicky Thomas and you haven't followed her and you haven't looked at Hit Talks Live, please follow that page. Make sure you're signed up so you can watch each and every one of us on that panel. We are speaking for 8 minutes on a subject that Vicky will give us. We don't promote ourselves. It comes from the heart, and you speak for 8 minutes. Now, if you look at some of the other guests that Vicky has had, they are up here. They are people I'd only wish to connect with. And if you look at the 8 wonderful guests that are on the panel for the 24th of March, very, very special. The other reason I'm sharing this is since I've set up the International Women's Day project, where I'm doing a podcast interview with each and every woman that joins the project. There's so many wonderful people. I have been invited to be a global speaker at 3 events. And I should also say that I am running my own POW, Pearls of Wisdom, Hit Talks, and that's on the 11th of April with 8 phenomenal people. And that's a mixture. It's not just women talking about a set message. We've only just started pulling people together. I'm still in the stages of confirming names. So watch this space, and I could well be reaching out to you. And I also want to show anyone that is listening to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, you will see the quality of knowledge, information, and just general oomph, for want of a better word, of every woman that is involved with this project. You've heard what each and every one of the speakers today can do. So if you've heard something and you've heard a subject that you'd like a speaker at one of your events, please reach out to each and every one of us. We all have a story to tell. We all have a certain expertise that we can bring to any of your events. Currently, International Women's Day podcast interviews project has over 140 women involved. I've set the intention to make it 500 by the 31st of March. If this resonates with you and you'd like to be part of that project, comment below or reach out to me personally, Pearl Cox, and let's make sure that you're part of this project. And one last message, you will find POW collaboration. I told you that POW went through everything. That's Pearls of Wisdom collaboration. And that's not just for women. That's for women, men, anyone that wants to build your business and grow and you want to collaborate. I'm bringing people together. Look what I've done in, 2 weeks? I've brought a massive, massive group together that's on a global scale. So going forward, I will be doing POW collaboration that will bring everyone together, that we can collaborate, we can grow and we can move forward. And it just leaves me to say a massive thank you to each and every one of these phenomenal ladies that have taken part in this event. And I look forward to when we connect with you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Pearl.
Thank you, Pearl.
Thank you, Pearl. Thank you. This is lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've now stopped live. I've now stopped the live. I'm just going to stop the recording.